Brown Dog Gadgets. Live!
Hi, I'm Josh from Brown Dog Gadgets, and today we're here with the fun people at Maker Camp to do a really cool project. We're going to be making a paper circuits knife switch, a fun old school switch you can easily make out of cardboard, a couple of office supplies, and maker tape. This is great for paper circuits projects, all sorts of fun activities where you want a physical switch. Even doing things with Arduino or microbit or other microprocessors, having a really cool, fun switch like this is always awesome with kids, or just doing a simple paper circuits project. Or for your next Halloween activity, make a nice big evil mad science switch with this. But we're going to be showing you guys how to make this today. Before you forget, you can find these templates on browndoggadgets.com. If you need supplies or resources, you can head to makershed.com, which should be popping up. There we go. Makershed.com. You get a paper circuits kit from them, which has our wonderful maker tape in it, or buy maker tape from them. And then, these resources on our website, browndoggadgets.com. Make sure you use hashtag MakeTogether or at Family Maker Camp on Twitter or Facebook or other social media sources.
Yeah. Do that.
You can also find our information on different sources as well. Thanks, Pete, for touching buttons galore. But if you make this project, please share it with the hashtag MakeTogether. Maker Camp as well as us, we always love to see when people use our projects and make something interesting and show it off in a fun and cool way. But before we forget too, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, like, hey, why did you do that? Post a comment because we'll actually respond, throw it up on screen. We love interacting with people when we live stream. That's why we live stream and not just pre-record, so we can interact with people. So throw us a question, a comment, or a concern, and we'll go from there. So
I'm going to start with a question, a comment. So this is a paper circuit. It's low voltage, DC, couple of volts. Because I've had more than one person say, "That's not. You can't use that with high voltage." No, we're not doing high voltage things here.
we're talking about things like LEDs, small motors.
Educational content, teaching basic circuitry, couple of volts.
Couple volts,
Safe.
an amp at max, 5 watts. Keep things under 5 watts, right, Pete?
Yeah.
When in doubt, 5 watts is enough watts for any party.
Unless it's a laser, then you want 40 or 50 or 150. But yeah.
Well, I mean, for these things, anyway. But so we're gonna switch to the overhead camera.
Overhead.
Which I was wondering about that when we started. Yeah, it's we're gonna turn the camera off and on again up here to make sure it works because apparently it's flashing an error at me up above here.
Overhead.
I'm gonna turn this off and then turn it back on again because that always fixes everything.
See if it shows up. What? No, we don't want that. We got our close-up going.
Hey Pete,
Yes.
did the Canon turn out the Canon software?
Well, it's not running.
We're gonna try.
Wait, hold on. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Might want to zoom out a little.
And you want to put me in the corner, Pete?
Yes, computers are.
Yeah, we're having
impressive,
technical difficulties when we're doing photography.
There
There
we
we go, little Josh in the corner. Yay! I like being in the little Josh in the corner. I'm trapped inside this bubble. Sorry about that.
Right.
Weird camera things.
It's a multi-purpose studio.
It is. We use it for like video photography and other things, and apparently it's stuck on something different. Could be stuck on photos from yesterday.
I took photos.
Anyway, it's working. Anyway, so here we are in video in high definition in 720p because streaming in 1080 is way too many pixels for anybody. I don't need that many pixels.
No one needs more than 720 pixels.
That's what you say, Pete. 4K is the way. So let's get down to brass brads, so to speak. So this is our knife switch. I'm gonna get there, Pete. Hold your. He's very proud of this. Pete designed this. So this is our knife switch. There's not a whole lot to it element-wise. We're using some just standard cardboard. This is cardboard we literally took out of our cardboard recycling area in our shop. We're going to try focusing on this too just a bit. No, we're not going to. Okay. And we got cardboard. We've got our maker tape here, which is our conductive material we're using to transmit power around. We're using little brass fasteners here as our contact points to keep things together, as well as the point for pivoting. And since they're brass, they also conduct, which is quite nice. And that's it. That literally is it. There's cardboard, brass brads, fasteners. Sorry. I was putting brass brads, what I've heard. From our supply drawer, literally our office supply drawer here in our shop. And then our maker tape. And it is a fairly easy, it's a friction-based connection. So we have 3 separate parts, 2 pieces of cardboard here, this piece of cardboard, and the maker tape is just rubbing against things. And since we're using our nylon maker tape, it can handle that kind of friction, that kind of abuse from moving up and down to make a good contact. And so that's all we're doing with that. And it's a project you can make pretty quick and easy and use for a wide variety of materials. And we're going to show you a couple different ways of doing this. So we're going to put this little guy to the side and go to the template and the directions. So Pete over here to the side here, good old Pete.
Hello.
Yay, Pete. Pete's a real person. He exists. Pete has made these really nice printable directions just on 8.5 by 11 printer paper here. These are the templates. And Pete recommends using an X-Acto knife. That's what he did. So there's a couple different ways of cutting this stuff out. So you can see we have our cuts and we have our folds. This little dotted line here is the fold spot. Pete, being the perfectionist he is, he used an X-Acto knife to score the cardboard for this area. It could also fold, but he scored it, so just cutting through one layer of corrugated cardboard, not all the way through, just through one layer to give it a little bendy area. You can also go so far as to print these out and use the paper as your hinge as well. This is some different cardboard Pete used to cut out, and a couple spots on a couple of these pieces. There's a piece somewhere here. I think, it's this one. he cut actually all the way through the cardboard on mistake, but that paper is still enough there for the hinge. You could also do this out of like really, really, really heavy cardstock. We highly recommend using some corrugated cardboard. I'm pretty sure at this point, thanks to COVID-19, everybody has a few Amazon boxes sitting around, and Amazon tends to use, like everybody, corrugated cardboard, a shipping box. Just use that. And nice part is, if you mess up, get a different one. So Pete recommends, say, cutting these out and then gluing them on top of some cardboard to then cut the cardboard out with an X-Acto knife as a reference point. These are just glued on here with some glue stick, Pete.
Yeah, that's what we had around the office, so that worked well.
And if you want to peel it off later, or just say draw it out with a pencil on a piece of cardboard. That's why these are quick and easy stencils. Everything's are nice straight lines. Life is good, and there's a little bit of leeway on here. And this is just again some standard corrugated cardboard. Corrugated cardboard is a modern marvel. It's strong, it's lightweight, it's extremely inexpensive, and it's everywhere. Corrugated cardboard. It's pretty awesome.
It is.
So, yay! I assume that's what you're doing. The yay button.
I did the triangle. Which
Oh, the
is
triangle.
We can do yay later. So, Josh, one other point. So, yeah, it's really simple. You could cut it out sort of freehand. You could glue it down. You could use that file to laser cut like 100 of them if you wanted to hand those out in a class and wanted to avoid knives or cutting at all. Options.
Sorry, there's a Springer Spaniel underneath the desk here who apparently has put his head upon the C-stand up here.
Okay.
So if you hear a loud groan, it's a Springer Spaniel. Brown Dog Gadgets has a brown dog, and he is tired.
And we have gadgets.
It's true, we do. So once you end up cutting things out in one way or the other, here's them cut out without being scored on the backside. I think this is done. Pete, you did this on a laser.
I did those on a laser just for quick efficiency.
This is a good example of like doing it on a laser cutter, just how quick it was. You'll still need to score. You want to score on the backside and flip it over. That's in the dotted lines right here with the laser cutter. So you can.
And Josh, I did the holes, but if you don't have those holes, you can just poke, the blade through and make little holes. So the fasteners may not poke through easily.
That's what we did. We're using these are metal too, and so I think on this example we did here last time. Here we go. We just used an X-Acto knife to poke a hole through, or something else. Use a box cutter, or a knife, or
drill press.
Drill press may be a bit overkill, Mr. Pete.
Overkill.
But there's a couple ways of doing it. I think the laser cutter thing, if you have a laser cutter at your school, library, or makerspace, cutting out some cardboard quick and easy if you're doing a workshop or a large event or a classroom activity, it's a really easy way of doing it, and then removing some of the knife work from your classroom. Because the nice thing here, like Pete didn't actually cut through all the way with the dotted line here. You can just take your X-Acto knife and then finish the cuts. Or if you want to get really fancy with your laser cutter, you could just do a really quick half cut line through here to score it. Mm-hmm. Depends on how fancy you are. Our laser cutter is pretty simple for production use. But again, this is it's a project for kids with cardboard. Let's not overcomplicate things. Though I do like when the holes are done with a laser cutter. It looks really nice. And
laser cutter is just a high-tech drill press sometimes.
It is. So you have these parts. I'm going to put these to the side. I'm going to use the white ones over here as my example for the day, just because they'll show up a little bit. No, maybe? I don't know. We'll go with this. I'm going to try scoring this because we got plenty of time. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife here. I'm going to finish scoring these guys up, or trying to.
You might even, and you might even be able to just put it on a table edge and kind of bend it over too.
Oh, that's a good one. We have a table edge here.
Do that off camera, but I promise that's what we're doing right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Okay,
we need more of that. So that was a good time to ask us important questions.
Yeah, if anyone has questions, comments, requests, we do take requests. Feel free to post it on whatever platform you're viewing us on, and we might read it on the air.
So I just finished up that scoring.
Perfect.
And there
Look
you
at
go.
That.
Ta-da! I can't hear the sound effects he's posting, so I assume they're sarcastic ones. I recommend this project, like any good papercraft project, doing paper circuits. Kids 10 and up, it's a perfect thing for them to do if you're stuck at home, especially with a maker tape or nylon tape, because you can put it on basically anything. We do some wearables with it using some just common felt and putting our maker tape on that. We've even done the past where we've taken a pumpkin, not even a carved pumpkin, just a pumpkin, and added maker tape to it, some LEDs for eyes to make a non-carving light up pumpkin. But it's a fabric tape, so it'll go on and come off of anything. It's conductive on top and bottom, so it works quite well. You can find that over at makershed.com, which, there you go, makershed.com. Makershed.org, you don't want to go there. It's .com. .net?
No.
So many dots. Anyway, so you got that. So I mean, that was pretty easy. You could just score it with an X-Acto knife one way or the other. Yay. So now I've got my two pieces like so. Ta-da. And then, what's the word I'm looking for here? We got this guy and this guy. Sorry, I almost forgot. So we've got four pieces here. What does this guy do? Well, this guy, no, it's an important thing because I forgot to do this first time I tried doing this on air. This little thing here, it sits below on the bottom. And, I didn't even have it backwards.
So
there we go, have backwards. Yeah. So that the lever will actually stop and hit something. You don't want to go all the other ways. You go all the way down, that's kind of lame. So this is a spacer on the bottom so that your lever, whatever
you want.
Okay, lever, depending on who you are, will come down and hit this and stop. And then, of course, this is the other side. So it's 3 layers. Yay. So now comes the important part. It's adding the maker tape.
Maker tape.
We have to get a button that says maker tape on there because
I'm working on it.
Get a wonderful sound artist or something. So our maker tape will just go on. Now, in our example here, a couple examples on the table here, we just run the tape from 2 pieces of tape because it works well, side by side with the hole spacing in the middle so we can still put our brass brad through. Now, you could probably poke your brass brad through the maker tape. We got a lot of tape, so whatever. And then it comes up and around on the back side, about a little about halfway. And you want to do this, of course, before you put it together. Makes life a lot easier. So we're going to do that really quickly. You do the same thing on the other side as well. Now, you don't do it on the back side, just the front side. Piece up and around, piece up and around, up and around, up and around with the tape. And I'm going to do that right now.
Gosh, what we have at browndoggadgets.com is full instructions and the printable template, step by step. There's some photos, shows everything we're doing here today. So,
It's true.
If you love this video, you can go get that free download and do it at home.
Everyone loves free, Pete.
But yes, by the way, for anyone joining us midstream, this is Josh and I'm Pete. We're over at browndoggadgets.com and we're streaming with our friends, obviously at Make Today for Family Maker Camp.
Family Maker Camp.
Everyone's stuck at home, but we can still have some fun, make some things, learn some new stuff.
It's true.
It's true.
So I always gonna start kind of like around the edge of my projects. That's just a me thing. Come around the corner, so I have a nice little edge on my things.
Looks nice.
It does. It's attention to detail, Pete.
It is.
From my time as a middle school teacher.
Yeah. You want to instill that sort of ideas to the kids. Take your time, pay attention to details.
Now I pre-cut a bunch of pieces of tape because it makes life easier for me. I'm going to use that, save that tape for later because, as I mentioned before, our maker tape is conductive on top and bottom, so I can use scraps for other things, and I will be using scraps later. So I had this running along here. Yay. I think in our other ones here, Pete had it a little closer together.
Yeah. That's a great teacher tip, by the way, just pre-cut those pieces. So it's, you could pretty much make kits that you, instead of like, oh, here's the roll, cut off a piece, here's all your pre-cut, because there's a backing on that tape.
Yes, and that's something that we chose to do with our maker tape, was to put a backing on it, because I just know from having been a teacher that being able to cut strips and give them out to kids saves a lot of time and effort during your day. Yeah. And so the backing, some people, like any backing, it can be annoying for people without fingernails. I always leave a little bit of fingernail for myself here. So there we go. But it makes life easy just to hand them out, giving kids tapes. So we're going to do it this side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. While I've got it here, make life easy for myself, because why not?
You deserve an easy life.
Okay, Pete. Thanks. Thanks. The magical world of Pete.
I'm here all week.
It's true, you are.
And by the way, if you have questions, comments, or requests or concerns, or just want to tell us a joke, type it into that comment box below the video, and maybe we'll read it on the air.
Smash that like and subscribe. No, we're not those kinds of people. It's just a lot of effort.
But we do want to thank our friends over at Make for, putting out a lot of great content during the kind of pandemic situation we're facing, and we're glad we can pitch in.
Yep, and actually we do have Pete over here with Andy, our curriculum writer, put together 5 different lessons on paper circuits on our website, like home learning lessons that are designed for that like 4th through 7th grade crowd. So if you're stuck at home and want to do some learning about circuits with kids, use the paper circuits kits from Maker Shed along with our directions to put something like that together to do some of those activities. And those are, again, free downloads on our website for learning at home. They're nicely put together. You don't have to do them all. It's one of those things you could use the paper circuits kit. Do a couple lessons with the kids, have some fun, because they're designed to be like fun learning activities.
Yeah.
And then make a few fun design things, a few fun projects as well. There we go. So I've used way more tape than I needed on the back. If you want to have back and around anyway, because this is where the lever ends up touching, so you kind of want to go about halfway. I just used the extra tape I cut. So we got this. This is all the taping I need to do on this guy right here. And by the way, when you're done, you're going to be connecting to these spots as well. Yeah. Now I have some extra tape here, and I like to always cover this area on the bottom with another piece of tape or two.
Connect them together.
Because as I mentioned, conductive on top and bottom. Mm-hmm. I've got a couple pieces of like scrap tape here from other days I've been doing live streaming. But as long as you have a little bit of overlap, you make a fine connection there. And I've got some more tape somewhere over here.
Everybody loves a fine connection.
It's true. Well, Pete, you got to have that.
Between people or your circuitry.
And I've done this on some projects where I've just done little overlaps of maker tape on spots to make a bigger connection point. Because this is what you'll end up running your project to these points right here for your lever.
So yeah, you could run wires to it and tape them down, or just maker tape, or alligator clips. Lots of options.
Oh yeah, alligator clips work really well because the maker tape can handle the strong. Alligator clips they're heavy contacts. They will make a strong and very destructive connection. Because I've done that before with projects like, you've destroyed the thing I've touched. Put it on too. But the maker tape can handle that because it's nylon. I mean, my joke always is nylon is good enough for parachutes. It's good enough for conductive tape projects.
There you go.
But yeah, just do a couple little overlaps of tape here and there. You'll make a nice solid connection. I'm probably doing too many on this. I just have some extra pieces around. But there, as long as they're overlapping a bit, it's conductive on top and bottom, you have a good spot to alligator clip to. And I think, too, with alligator clips with this kind of cardboard or other material like that, it'll make life a little easier. So there you go. We got this. Yay! Don't do it, Pete. So now we've got to do our lever, which is just tape. And so on the lever, we really have a strip of tape going from point A to point B, and then a bunch of maker tape wrapped around it, again, connected on top and bottom, to connect those 2 points, and a little bit of tape here with extra bulk to it to make a connection. And that's the thing, again, layering maker tape if you need a little stronger connection on things is just fine. So I'm going to take this guy right here. I'm going to go my point A to point B spot. Ta-da. Let's just measure that out by eyeballing it. Close enough. Remember, kids, cut twice, measure once.
Wow. Josh, this project really was created because of maker tape. I mean, I wouldn't have tried to make it with any other,
we really hate copper foil.
I wasn't going to say the words. I'm not going to use that. I wasn't going to use like the aluminum tape.
It's going to be like Pee-wee's Playhouse where you can't say, like, there's one word you can't say. Maker tape. I enjoy Pee-wee's Playhouse for having Morpheus from the Matrix. He's the cowboy on there.
Yes.
It's great. Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Good guy. Also in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
As movies go.
Fun facts.
At age 14. Movie factoids. Not just making things. Movie factoids. So I've done my point A to point B, and now I'm just going to wrap around my tape, starting kind of here, leaving my hole available, and just kind of wrap it around a bit so that I have some bulk so I can make at least somewhat of a connection there. It doesn't take much, so I'm just going to cut just a random strip of tape. I'm going to just wrap it around a bit to give it some bulk to it, some padding, and they'll do the same thing on the other side. And that's all the tape work we have to do on this project, provided that everything is good. And that, like a lot of projects we do, it's hard pressed to do these wrong, is the thing, because they're pretty simple. Leave a little spot there.
They're pretty simple, Josh, but the concepts are sort of the base of so many things. I mean, any switch there is deals with the contact between two conductors.
Oh yeah.
Typically, some insulators involved as well. And most, like we said, most modern switches today, they're hidden away. You don't see the mechanism unless you disassemble it. So the knife switch is fun because it's open switched closed, open circuit closed circuit. You see it. It's right there.
Exactly. And knife switches were like the evil mad science approach, like Frankenstein or whatnot. You see the big knife switch on the wall. They'd pull, the sparks would fly. But they were a legitimate, like, useful switch back originally as a very simple, reliable component. And so it's just that we made much better things very quickly. So I'm just going to have to remember where our stuff is. How far along are we there? We're about to, there we go, here.
And you can always add more.
You can always add more. Maker tape can always add more. We're just going to make a nice...
If you run out, you can go there.
Makershed.com.
You can find some there.
And so we found that typically we've had good luck when we've done this. We don't need to do like a ton of maker tape on here. But if you're ever like not making good enough contact point, just add some stuff. And if you're super, super worried, you make a different version of this. You can always just put something else in here, like a sheet of paper or two, a paper clip, something underneath just to give it a little more heft.
I bulked it up a little bit for aesthetics to kind of show where the contact points are. And I thought it looked nice. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
So, ta-da, we've got our little bit of bulkiness there and there. We're going to make good contact. Now it's just building the darn thing. So it's just layering things up, using our little contacts here to go through. 1, 2, 3. I know it's riveting online making.
Josh, you know how they used to build airplanes and ships? I watched a documentary about it.
With rivets?
It's riveting.
I
know you're a history buff, so yeah.
It's true. Although during World War II, they welded some ships to make things much faster, and they had a tendency to break in half.
Ooh.
Because of the rivets.
Poor welds.
But they needed a lot of ships very quickly, cargo ships.
Yeah.
Things I learned from watching YouTube documentaries on.
Josh, what does a robot frog say?
Rivet.
You got it. There you go. Where's our rim? There's a rim shot. Once again, if you have questions, comments, complaints, requests.
If you want to speak to our supervisors, please email.
Yes.
But so I've got this going. I can hear the friction on it.
That's some good friction.
Some good friction going on. And it should last a lot of throws because our maker tape is handled. We had like maker tape on our door. Going through the back of our door for a connection, and it was there for a couple of years, and it's still working. We hadn't used the project in ages. Just
Josh, can I share a pro
tip
tip
about
bending bending it in case it doesn't line up well?
Bend it out, I guess you did that here. Like
I did.
Pete did bend these out slightly. It's cardboard.
It's cardboard, so it's a little flexible. So if it doesn't line up when you throw it down, you just kind of bend out the top a little bit, so it has a little better entry.
It's so many easy ways. And again, these are a lot of projects for children. And to show this guy actually works, I'm going to grab a battery.
Ooh.
I'm going to grab a blue LED from the bag of LEDs on this desk.
It's for Blue Dog Gadgets. Wait, no, it's brown.
I think there's a brown LED, Pete. And we're just going to make a simple circuit with this guy right here. So I'm just going to cut a big old piece of maker tape to make my life easier.
Don't forget to test your LED and battery.
Fine. It works. We've had that before. Like, this battery's dead. Somebody resuscitate it. Let's just say I'm going to cut right here. So I'm just going to make a circuit here on the desk using a battery and LED. A simple, very simple circuit. But I'm going to run my maker tape directly to the knife switch here. Just to make life easy, because we'd be doing this on paper one way or the other.
And it'll peel off, unlike other certain tapes.
It will. That's a nice thing. It is strong enough, it'll peel off. So should actually make sure I get this centered on the screen so it looks nice. We got this. I'm going to cut a little piece of tape off here to, that's more than I need. So we do a common battery connection using a loop of tape. Since the maker tape is conductive on top and bottom, we can just make a tape loop and stick it on the bottom of our battery to make a strong electrical connection, saving a lot of time and effort of designing a more useful paper battery holder. And I have seen some really, really great paper battery holders over the years from people like Chibitronics. We used to use a dog ear kind of like fold over in a corner approach. This is way more tape than I needed, by the way.
I like to call the tape loop sort of the secret weapon of maker tape.
It is. So we just stick it on the bottom here. Ta-da. And then I can just stick this on top of that piece of tape there. Yeah. And then we're good to go. I'm going to bend my legs out. I'm going to put a little crimp on the end here so I know that's my positive because I always forget. Don't need to. I always forget. As Pete sits over here laughing because I frequently do.
I always forget to.
So we're just going to say about out to here. Great. We're just going to run the tape over the LED leg as well because it's conductive on top and bottom. If you want to be super secure, put the tape down first, then the LED on top, another piece of tape on top of that. But we're not worried. We're just going to run the tape out to here. Yay. Tape. Way more than I need. That's the name of the game. I'm going to run this over on top of the battery again, conductive on top and bottom. Yeah, let's just say about like this.
Now, Josh, this is a pretty darn simple circuit, but you could you could use this switch for, like you said, for an Arduino or microbit project as well.
That's a nice thing, yeah. Instead of if you have like any situation where you want to press and hold down a button in your circuit, and that's part of your project, this would be a great way of having something that's turned on. I should probably start from here. There we go. So clearly it works. Knife switch.
On off, on off. Use the Morse code while you're at it.
Yes, what I learned from Scouts. That's SOS. No, now see, here's the thing. I've got this wonderful circuit here, but Pete, there's more.
Wait, what?
Oh yes, I'm going to use another LED. I'm not going to use that one. Let's use this one. It's already crimped out.
That's how I like my LEDs, crimped out.
Crimped out. We're gonna just put another LED down because you know what, Pete?
Whoa, what madness is this?
Because we have LEDs galore on this table out of frame. We're gonna put another one down. I think this is a blinking red, and I've got some extra maker tape here. I'm just gonna run this over because that's a short distance there. But yeah, we can use two LEDs. Typically coin cell batteries like these are simple CR2032s. They're easy, they're simple to come by. They work well for LEDs, small motors and stuff at 3 volts.
And I think we have thousands of them here as well.
I may have thousands of them. There we go.
Whoa!
Oh, naturally blinking LED.
Blinker.
I mean, I could throw more. I've got
Pretty
LEDs
wild.
below over here, but I'm not because that's enough of that. But no, you can typically do like I say 3 to 4 LEDs off a coin cell battery, and depending on the color of LED you have, that does make a difference because they have different voltages that they use. So different ones will not always mix well together. Ours and the ones at Maker Shed, their paper circuit kits do have built-in resistors in them, which makes life easier. But 3 to 4 LEDs per coin cell tends to be like a max you'd want to do for a coin cell. I usually try to do no more than 2 in my papercraft projects. If you really wanted to, you could also use like a 2 AA or 2 AAA battery holder to then add a crud ton of LEDs because you could. But anyway, that's knife switching here.
That is.
Switches are fun.
Yeah, that was great.
Now, Pete, if we want to get really fancy, since we have 3 switches here, we could do 3 LEDs with 3 switches, all linked together.
Could do that.
And then each switch does its own LED because that's a fun one to do. Yeah, that's it. If nobody has any questions,
yeah, we haven't got any comments yet. So, Josh,
no one commented.
No. Just a reminder, you can find other great stuff happening at makercamp.com/events. They've got other fun stuff going on.
Pete, if,
what
we,
else?
if our the service that both MakerShed, Maker Camp, and we use for live streaming, there's a website we go through. It was having issues earlier. People could be commenting. We
Yeah.
just might not be able to see them.
That's true.
So there's a slight chance that if you are commenting and we aren't saying anything back
We
to you,
do
it's not that we don't like
apologize.
you. It's that it could just not be showing up in our software.
web glitches.
Because it's web glitches. But anywho, so LEDs, batteries. Check out Family Maker Camp. Their Facebook page is a great place to go. Their Twitter account is a great place to go. If you do make this project or anything else from that series, videos from a bunch of different companies that are hanging out and working with them, use hashtag make together. You can also tag Brown Dog Gadgets because they're like at Brown Dog Gadgets. We got one yesterday for Bristlebot. Someone's like at Brown Dog Gadgets.
Nice.
And we're like, someone uses our products. Cool, clearly.
Excellent.
But yeah, this is a pretty simple go-to thing. We've got this template. I mean, on our website, those little brass fasteners work well. You could use a bunch of different things for that too. Like really anything that clips together is fine because all the electrical connections happen between the tape.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could probably find some other things. You want to get really like I have no brass fasteners. Twisty ties actually might work as well.
Yeah.
Could probably totally work on that one. Anything you can like push through and kind of just
You could paper clip. I mean, yeah, anything would probably work.
yeah, allergies killing me here. But yeah, we have these directions. There's a bunch of different ways you could do this, but it's a nice simple design. It's easy to put together. It's hard to do wrong as long as there's at least a little bit of friction going on there. You're going to make a good connection. But definitely give this a try. Use some of those Amazon boxes you have at home.
Yeah.
That are piling up with all the things you're buying. I know I have a few.
There you go.
But thank you. But yeah, again, at Family Maker Camp, MakerShed has paper circuits kits, which are perfect for this with the maker tape, LEDs, batteries in it, and then just some cardboard. Print off those templates, and Pete's over here clicking the mouse all the time, back and forth.
Anyway,
Pete powered.
all right.
But yeah, any questions, you can put a message on this video. We'll try to get back to you later.
Yeah.
Or you can email us on our website or social media things galore. Get things all over this screen. But thanks. We'll be back next week as well with Maker Camp doing some more projects. And of course, they're always doing more live streaming every day as well. So check their Facebook page for their schedule or their website, Make Magazine. Oh, there you go. makercamp.com/events. There it is. Thanks,
All
Pete.
right. Cool.
Allergies killing me. But yeah, they have events lined up with lots of different very interesting people with some very cool projects. But definitely try those out. Make some fun paper circuits things. We love to see when people make really cool, weird projects at home. Or just save this for your evil, mad science outfit for Halloween. So you can like show people through a window since no one's trick-or-treating. You throw candy at kids in the street. Would that work? Just
It might.
So we need a candy launcher, Pete.
We'll work on that.
We just got like it launches candy
Cool.
like 6 feet away.
That's a good idea.
The kids couldn't take a handful either of the bowl because that's what they're
That's
probably
true.
take a handful.
One
It's a
per
candy launcher.
person.
Crank, 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 crank. Use a nice switch. You're like, launch the launch. We got time, Pete. We got lots of time. But
That's
anyway,
true.
I'll come
All
back with
sorts
that
of
this
time.
October.
All right.
But thank you everybody for watching. Take care, and yeah, we hope you have fun making cool projects. So,
All right.
good afternoon.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media at browndoggadgets. Check out our live streams at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you next time.